Hey Facebook, what's going on everyone? Today I really want to continue off of from yesterday's video. Let me pull a chair. I've just been going back and forth for everything. But yeah, I want to go off of yesterday's lesson about dictions, and today I want to talk more about change, conflicts, and decision making. Okay. Sorry about that. So, how's everyone doing? Okay, so for a long time, I've been known to psychoanalyze a lot of relationships, a lot of things in life. There's a lot of times people have an opinion about me. But when they look at me, they're looking at a right here, right now. And in context, I like to look futuristic in context because there's a bigger picture in my mind versus what they're trying to deal with right here and now. And sometimes the decisions we make is the wrong time. So I want to define from yesterday in how to make the right decisions, dealing with conflicts and change. I'm going to use a relationship as the point of reference, and it can be applied in any area that we have out there. So, and other than that, let's just get right into it. Okay, so like we talked about before, you have the brain itself, and you have the reptilian. That's the fight, the flight, or run or mate with it, right? So stay there to fight it, run from it, or mate with it. The limbic system, that's the emotion aspect of it. And then you have the neurocortex, and we talked about how memory, right, is the past, and then the stories that you're building in your neurocortex, that's the future. But I want to point out today that the esteems is the root of your how you think of yourself in the system, and it's really not a reality issue. Okay, so in context, what do I mean by that? If I close my eyes in front of a mirror, if I close my eyes and I think, who am I? All right, so I'm thinking about, hey, who am I? What I think, how I feel, how I look, how I do everything that I do. Who am I? Then when I open my eyes and look in the mirror, am I really what I think I am? And the answer is not necessarily. Because your brain, let me switch it around again. Because your brain tells a story, right? The neurocortex in your brain tells a story, and it's a story about you in the future, but it's not necessarily reality. Okay, so let's get into decisions, change, and conflicts. Okay, here's the child, or children, I should say, but let's more focus on the children. And in the children's life, there are parents, environments, there are friends, there's a social, like churches, and there's social media, and all of those. That will be representative. Now, in the decisions, change, and conflicts position, you have the teaching. So one or some of those will teach the child, right? That child or those children, teach it, and then the N represents the neurocortex. That's the past. So all teachers are teaching those children about their past, good or bad experiences, traumas, and etc. Okay, so when I say don't do this, they're going to look at me like, what? And the reason I'm saying don't do this is because of my past experiences and traumas and so on and so forth. All right, now in context, the child wants something. And then that's the neurocortex, but they're thinking the futures. And then they will say the story we say, we, meaning parents, environment, and all those, what we tell the child. Okay, let's think about it in this context. If I say, baby, you're a princess, okay? You're a princess. And let me put you here for a second. Good. So if I say, hey, honey, you're a princess, okay? She's going to grow up thinking, daddy says I'm a princess. Okay, then she's going to want to go out in the future thinking with the confidence of daddy saying, daddy says, I believe I'm going to be out in the community saying I'm a princess. I'm going to say, on the other hand, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Why? Because I know through my bad experiences and good experiences and traumas and so on and so forth, I know what this child is going to go through. And I'm like, don't do that. But Dad, you just told me I was a princess. Well, don't do that because you're going to mess this up. Now, in this context, that is a conflict. And so now the conflict is established. So let me show you what that means. All right. So the two conflicts, I'm teaching her about good and bad. I'm also saying what the child wants. You're a princess. Okay, there's a conflict because now the limbic system right there is the hormones. I have an emotion about this thing. Now, there's a conflict between parent and child. What? My past, bad experiences, their future. What stories are we saying? You're a princess. Okay. Now, feeling towards this conflict, and now they're having a conflict of each other, parent and child, and now they're having a conflict of self, because dad says, I'm a princess, and now they're going outside into the environment with their friends and social, called churches and media and so on, saying that daddy says, I'm a princess, I must be a princess, and now we have conflicts. Okay, the conflict is all about the teaching because we teach past stuff, and the child is looking for future stuff, and they're going off of what we say, but not necessarily of our good or bad experiences. They're going off what we say because they have their own mind. That little baby got her own little mind. She wants her own future. Okay. So that's the starting point. That's starting. This is starting. Children. Then they grow up. Here's that line that represents growing up. Let me show you what that means. In life, each of us have good experiences, bad experiences. F means future. M represents memory. So memory, past, story, future. Okay. And it's all based off of our esteems. Okay. Bad, good, future, bad, good, future. Then all of a sudden, let's look in the reference of female boyfriend. Okay. She gets a boyfriend. Okay. That boyfriend gave her good and bad experiences. They break up. She suppresses until she gets another boyfriend. Okay. Here we go. Boyfriend represents that. Girlfriend represents that. They had an argument because why? They're thinking future. In the memories, she's gotten trigger. Her trigger has a limbic system because of an emotion. That emotion is representative by, in references, bad and good experiences from this last boyfriend. Okay. Now, in this cycle, this is an actual cycle. The boyfriend-girlfriend position, right? Traumas and triggers pass here. Okay, let me reverse and let's talk about it for a second. Okay. So think about it this way. You have a mate, your boyfriend, girlfriend, you got engaged, you're married, however that works out. When you get with your boyfriend or girlfriend, please be mindful you're not just getting with them right here, right now. Okay, if I met a girl right here, right now, I am not meeting her for right here, right now. I need, and this is what I said earlier, I psychoanalyze too much. I know, and people really needs to understand that when you meet another individual, you're not just meeting them right here, right now. You're meeting them and they have all of this stuff. Good and bad experiences. And likewise, when you meet me for the first time, you need to understand, not you in specific, I'm just using as an example, when you meet your man, when you meet your opposites, you're meeting them and their goods and bad experiences and traumas and so on and so forth. So when we talk, we can talk about a future. And when we talk about a future, we're talking about it in our esteem. How do I feel about myself and my ability versus how do you feel about you and your ability? And then we're going to talk about a future, but then don't forget past, because a guy and a girl may say to each other, I like you, we really got this, I think we're going to try to make this work. Until someone gets triggered and then, no, then it doesn't work because they got triggered. And that's the key. You need to understand when we talk about relationships in the neocortex, the memory and the stories, you need to understand that we're talking about past. And I can say, I got you, but I don't know what your past entails. And so something like 5 years ago might be triggered, and because how you expressed it, because of your emotion, I might then say, I can't handle this. And because I can't handle this, you think I'm a liar because I said I got you. Which is not, I'm a liar, I just didn't know what I didn't know. Does that make sense? Okay, now let me bring this home for us here. Hello, everyone. Okay, they got into a bad, boyfriend-girlfriend got into a bad argument. They got an argument because she's gotten triggered. He didn't know about that guy because that guy probably was 5 years ago. He didn't know, so she's reacting off of her limbic system because she got triggered, the emotion of it, and he did not know how to handle it. So she's left alone, he's left alone, all because of something that happened way back then. Now, here's the issue. There's a memory, and now there's a future thought, and now do we change? Do we handle the conflict? Do we make a decision in the moment? That is the issue at hand when people are in this situation right here. They let themselves be triggered, not let themselves be triggered, they are triggered, and then they let themselves with the emotion of this person and they deal with that person at the same time, and they're trying to make a decision with that person because they've been triggered with that person and those experiences in the moment. And then you take this guy who you said right here, when you said this was a awesome guy, and guys, awesome girl, but somebody's gotten triggered, and now because of that guy or girl, you're making a decision in this moment with these emotions, with that trigger about that person. And does that really make sense? Does that really make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. But people do it all of the time. And it's not no one's fault. She did not know that she was going to get triggered of what he did about somebody that happened 5-6 years ago. She didn't know. He didn't know. And neither one of them are counselors or psychologists. They don't know how to deal with these things. So in context, when this happens, do not, this is a lesson, do not make a decision of the moment. Do not have a conflict with each other at the moment. Do not think about change in the moment. Okay, let me show you. If you make a future with someone because you made a boyfriend, girlfriend with future here, if you made a future just because a person's gotten triggered and has an emotion, do not change nothing. Do not do nothing with they're conflicting right now. She and he is thinking about changing their status, and they're all making a decision without calming down and rationally talking about this. Because people make plans and things happen, like triggers. Things happen, and you're going to take this nice, lovely adventure with this guy and girl. They're guy and girl. lovely adventure in life, and you guys are going to do a great thing. But just because of certain things like being triggered or accidental stuff. Now, again, I'm talking in the context of triggering and something simple. If this guy cheated on her and she caught him cheat, get rid of him. And vice versa. So we're not talking about bad character. We're talking about accidental issues like I've been traumatized. Okay. Now, here's another issue inside of this situation when it comes to change, conflicts, and decisions. Okay, think about this. I think I'm going to sit down right quick. Give me a second, ladies. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hopefully good. Here's another issue. She's been triggered because of something he did. She then takes the emotion and that experience, brings it to him, and thinks he's that guy. Okay, we understand. Moving forward, she's going to label that guy, and I'm just using her as the example. She's going to label that guy as the other guy and the experience, and then say and convinces herself that he is just like that person. The neurocortex, the memory, and the story you tell yourself about a person when you're hurt, and then you say out of your mouth that this person that you just said is a awesome person, but then you change that decision and say no, he's not he's like that guy, or she's like that girl. Then you already should know that's not what you should do. You should calm down. You should first change. Change in context is stop looking at it by yourself. If you like this person and you're making a future with this person and you got triggered or there's some bad experiences that just came up, first thing you need to do is sit down and talk about it. What happened? What happened in the past? How did you try to suppress it? Right? Because you need to suppress it over time. Good memories, good memories, good memories, right? You got this guy, girl, right? Moving forward, change. We need to change what you did or what I did to cause that trigger. Okay. The first is conflict. We're not against each other. There's no I'm against you, you're against me. It's this event happened. How do we deal with it? So we deal with the conflict because there is a conflict. We have to deal with it in a logical, can we move past this? And then the decision. The decision needs to be made after you talked about the change, after you talked about the conflict. Then you make a decision, not in the heat of the moment, but give it a couple of days. And then from those couple of days, then you make the decision. Because the decision you make will convert into a reality. So if you remember, I said the future is how you think about yourself, and the esteems how you think about yourself and your ability will be applied to your future. If you then apply it back into your decision making, you'll never grow. And if you never grow, that's the reason why you never grow, is because you're telling the stories over and over and over. And don't do that. Okay? So that is change, conflicts, and decisions. Changing. You have to deal with the person's past to understand that they want to change from daddy saying I'm a princess to I'm not a princess no more. So you have to change that position. Conflict, because I want to do this and you want to do this, so we're going to have a conflict. How do we compromise that conflict? Then decision making. Decision making should be the context that I got you, you got me. We're going to go through this tough times together. Traumas will kick in, bad experiences will kick in. If you're truly together, be together. Do not let your history, your past, your memory, the Olympic system, your emotion to dictate your future with someone that you just thought was a good person. Does that make sense? All right. Now, I use the relationship as the point of view, but in context, you can use this whole scenario in business. I'm not successful because of my history. Somebody says I was dumb. Somebody says I was poor. Somebody says this, and I believed it. And the stories that I tell myself, and the change of changing from myself to where I want to go, the conflict between everyone told me I was poor to everyone, me telling myself I want to be rich. That's the conflict. And then the decision making. It's scary. Yes, it's scary, but you need to make the decision of the moment so you can bring a new reality. So relationships, business, future, kids, anything, all things. This is the cycle. When we teach, don't teach past, teach future. Let them know, though, their future, they're going to have some serious good experiences and some serious bad experiences. But then when you do change logistically, strategically. We handle conflicts as a team. Handle conflicts as a team and understanding there's going to be emotion, and then make your decision as a team and then move forward as a team if it's a couple, right? And that's how you make it work. All right. So that's all I got. Yeah. So change, conflicts, and decisions applies to everything that you can do. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out offline. Other than that, yeah, that's all I have for today. All right, guys, let me get back to work, and I will talk to you later. Have a good Thursday. And yeah, until then, till next time. All right, what's going on?